After launching a racist, sexist, and perversely pornographic attack yesterday on Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis, Donald Trump has now put some of that lying attack language in a television ad that he intends to run for several days in Atlanta. District Attorney Fani Willis sent an email about the attacks on her to her staff today saying, "It is my understanding that an ad was put in the Atlanta market to run between today and August 13th that will have derogatory and false information about me as the district attorney. You may not comment in any way on the ad or any of the negativity that may be expressed against me, your colleagues, this office, in coming days, weeks, or months. You should feel no need to defend me. I am not concerned with the calls, emails, or ads, and you should not concern yourself with them. Your instruction from me is to ignore all the noise and keep doing your job with excellence." Joining us now is Gwen Fleming, former district attorney in neighboring DeKalb County, Georgia. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. What Donald Trump is saying about Fani Willis, we have never in American history heard a potential criminal defendant say about a potential prosecutor that defendant might be facing. Knowing your friend Fani Willis as you do, what can you tell us about what she might be feeling that was not expressed in her email to staff?
Well, I think let's remember, all of us are humans. And while she is no doubt focused on going forward with this case, focused on our evidence, focused on the facts, applying those facts to the law, I can't imagine that it's not affecting her in some way. But like most of us, when confronted with challenges, when we know we have a tough job to do, we may have our private moments, but when it's time to step up and do the job, we do it. And so her email to the staff is a reflective of her recognizing the importance of remaining professional in the moment, remaining committed to the task at hand, not being intimidated, and ensuring that she is following not only her oath as a prosecutor, but also her ethics as a lawyer. And so regardless of how this may be affecting her personally, she has clearly said her decisions in this matter are not personal. They are based on the facts. They are based on the law. They are based on moving forward in a way that has integrity and will represent the citizens of Fulton County very well.
She just issued a subpoena to the lieutenant governor. The subpoena didn't have a date on it. It's a range of dates toward the end of August. Does that tell us anything about the timing of possible public indictments here? Is it possible we could have public indictments, say, next week, even before the lieutenant governor testifies?
Well, I think anything is possible, but I find it interesting that she is subpoenaing witnesses to the grand jury. Every prosecutor always has the option of just presenting their investigators or presenting police officers. I think she wants to make sure that the grand jurors get a feel for what actually happened in the room at the Capitol, which is why she's subpoenaed several former state senators and members of the House. That also breaks up some of the presentation for the grand jurors, so they're not hearing the same person for hours. It also possibly anticipates grand jurors having questions. And so having these folks under subpoena where she can rely on them if the grand jurors have particular questions and call them in within a specified amount of time since they've had pre-notice, it demonstrates that she's trying to organize things and anticipate some of the needs that the grand jurors may have.
We pointed out on this program many months ago that in Georgia, the governor does not have the power to pardon. But the governor appoints, apparently, and correct me if I'm wrong, appoints the people who do have the power to pardon. How do pardons work in Georgia?
So in Georgia, that is absolutely right. The governor does not have the ability to pardon. It's a decision made by the Board of Pardons and Paroles. And while they're all appointed by governors, they work collaboratively to determine whether a pardon is appropriate. And one of or two of the key prerequisites is that the person seeking the pardon has to have served their entire sentence And they have to wait 5 years during which they live a model life before applying. And so this is not a situation where there might be a conviction and a pardon immediately following that. They have to serve whatever sentence is issued by the judge, and then they have to wait an additional 5 years after having a law-abiding life before they could even be considered for a pardon by the board.
So to be clear, other than a successful appeal of the case, there is no process in Georgia that can set aside a sentence.
That is correct, other than an appeal.
Gwen Fleming, thank you for teaching us, as you always do. Thank you very much for joining us tonight.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.